slowly but surely we're sledding. So Tim is volunteered to be the muddy one.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
We were headed east towards Buenos Aires. We made miles, camping along the way. We camped in the desert.
So we're doing a teeny tiny little hike. We are camping tonight at a national park.
Yep.
Which is free, and no one's
And
here
it
because
looks
it's hot.
exactly like Arizona. Exactly. It's probably a similar temperature to Arizona. What do you think? 90 something?
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
A little Utah-ish, Arizona.
So most of the actual hiking trails around here are closed because it's the low season, because it's too hot for people to be out here, and they're afraid that they will get heat stroke, so you can't do most of the hikes. But this little one you can do. So while it's hot and we don't want to just sit in the sun and roast, we're going to do a hike. And then there's actually showers. They're cold showers, but that sounds pretty good right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we can take a shower. Beer. Pretty.
This is crazy how Arizona this is. You know?
Yeah, it really looks like.
You got a couple
Feels like-
animals that are completely different than what we have. But in a general sense, it's very similar. Makes me hope that all these clouds sort of turn into a monsoon.
What you doing in there, Tim?
Oh, just enjoying the beautiful weather. Lovely day we're having here.
What's the purpose of this?
We've decided it's just like the Arizona desert here, except that we saw a bunch of ticks crawling on the ground, and then there's like 1,000 mosquitoes around us. But it's the desert.
3 hours later.
I spoke too soon. Now there's mosquitoes everywhere.
Really? A bunch all of a sudden?
There's like 3 that I
Oh,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
right now. I just killed one, and there's 2 more on the outside.
Leave us alone. We are thoroughly enjoying though a monsoon rolling in into the desert. There's mesquite, Palo Verde trees everywhere, and we're so far away from home, but it is such a neat feeling. I love the desert when the sun starts going down and clouds obscure it, and then it starts to dump rain. It's my favorite thing.
We stopped to take in a museum.
We're at the Pucci Racing Museum. I think primarily the Mingo Pucci, but the family still races. Oh, jeez, come on. Look at that. Gorgeous.
So we're both pretty tired. We've been driving all day long, but this museum, it happened to be open on the weekend, and we are near it.
Only
so
the weekend, and only from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And we're here, near here. So we were going to camp, and then you wait the whole day for it to open. And it's, you know, it's a 20-minute, half an hour type museum, so I'm glad
It's
we
really
checked
cool.
it out.
And we even found some mud.
been raining for like the last day, and we might have chosen a road that no one drives on, and it's pretty just slippery, but it's really short. And I think there's another way to get there that we can see now, but we didn't know that. So it's solid, pretty solid ahead. It's just like you're falling into a muddy ditch, and I think we're just gonna need to do a quick winch pull to get us up to where it's hard ground and stop us from, because we're just sliding into the ditch right now. Slowly but surely we're sliding. So Tim is volunteered to be the muddy one, and has hopped out to rig up the winch, and we're about maybe 200 yards from where we're gonna camp tonight, but it's just so muddy we can't quite get there yet, so oh well. Almost there. That's the campsite up there. Very, very close. Still just going into the ditch.
There you go. A little more. There you go. Perfect track, just maintain that. Okay, there you go. A little back. Stay up, stay up. Stop. I'm just in the nasty stuff here. Go. Ooh, it's gonna get nasty. All right, so let's wish her luck as she makes it to this. This is much more solid where I'm standing, but back there was much less solid. So let's see what we can do. Keep going. Much more solid here. You can stop right there. Having fun?
Yeah, it's muddy. But we're on the river now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. And no one else is going to be out here, so.
We made it.
Check out this view though. The old dilapidated, I don't know what it is, community clubhouse. Looks like a scary building now. Barbecue, a whole bunch of different barbecues. But looks like a big communal barbecue there. Another pretty nice looking spot over here that's long been forgotten and left to fall apart. Not what I expected when somebody said this is the municipal camping municipal. No wonder it's free. It's just completely abandoned. So some of these communities, you know, the bathrooms are always pretty nasty, to be honest. I mean, far nastier than I think any bathroom I've ever seen in the U.S. And those are the ones that are maintained. But then you get out here and there's a whole bunch that are just left. And this one's clearly one that's just left, and the community didn't have the money to keep it up, or there was no interest, or I don't know what. But you can see back here too, there's a bridge that's fallen. Don't think that was today, but it has been a whole bunch of water, so you never know when that bridge collapsed. There's a nice one next to it though, so it probably isn't recent. Gorgeous though. And then with how difficult that mud was to get here, until it dries out, no one can drive out here. You could walk out here, or as we saw, there was another side road that was sandier that a guy took a scooter on. And obviously in the morning we'll be trying to take that out of here. What do you think?
Pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
a little creepy.
Of course, anytime there's old buildings, I would get a little creeped out too. But
Almost looks like there's fish things out there, like
yeah.
the things that
Oh
are...
yeah, the little bobbers
Yeah.
to go back and get your traps or crab. Yeah, look at up there jumping.
Early the next morning,
Amazing what a difference, what, 12 hours makes?
Yeah.
So, muddy and nasty, but no
Not
slippery at all.
slippery
Yeah,
as
I mean,
much.
we still did a full sideways, so very slippery, but not the mess we were in last night. Like, pretty mellow, really, for any four-wheel drive.
It ended
But it's
up being
funny.
a pretty good campsite too.
That was great because we knew no one could really get out to where we were.
Yeah.
Not that like anyone was trying to, but in terms of like people partying all night, which we've had a lot of, you're not really going to have it out there. We saw a couple guys on a scooter, and apparently his scooters kick butt in the mud. Or really what he'd do is they'd ride right along the riverside. So there's the river, and then he would just ride right along the riverside, not really on a road. And so it's one of those things like in the U.S. you think about a 4x4 and you're like, nothing else could get out here. And then there's a guy on a mule or a guy on a scooter and you go,
Or on a boat.
oh, well, those things. Yeah, those can make it. Yeah, or a bicycle.
Sometimes we take advantage of Goose's suspension. And finally, we made it to Buenos Aires.
We made it to Buenos Aires, and we have a cool little Airbnb here, which is a giant mess right now because we have lots of laundry and stuff going on. But check out the view out our window. So today we're gonna go do a little bit of exploring. I think check out the Recoleta Cemetery, see what we can discover other than that, and just sort of have a relaxing adventuring day. Alright, so we are in the Recoleta Cemetery, and we'll show you a bunch of the, what are these called, mausoleums?
Crypts?
Crypts, yeah, I think they're crypts or mausoleums, and as you can see, some of them are really well kept up and still used by families, and others are literally falling apart, so it's kind of creepy. And it's huge. I think it's 14 acres, I read, of area that all these cover, so pretty interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool. So this was a garden for the church that's over here. And then was it 1822, the church,
Disbanded.
yeah, I don't know if that's the right word, but the nunnery decided they didn't want to be nuns anymore. They disbanded this section and they decided to make the
Cemetery?
the cemetery be in the garden. And so this was a big garden for this church. So it's really not that old. It's less than 200 years, almost 200 years old,
Yeah.
but pretty recent.
A lot of like Argentinian presidents and obviously the rich families are buried here.
Yeah,
so.
Eva Perón and anyone who's famous in Argentinian history seems to be in here.
We're listening to, by the way, I found an app that's a self-guided tour, and it's pretty cool. I'll put a link to that below because it has actual audio, so as you walk around it directs you, and it has several different tours that you can take. So obviously there's also tour guides that you can pay, but we decided to do our self-guided tour. It's pretty cool so far.
Stairs down to the lower levels, some dead birds. Windex bottle, normal stuff. Yeah.
so creepy how there's caskets. Like, all the glass is broken out of these. There's a lot of them have trash in them and stuff. But just right there is a casket. And then down below, like down below the floor, there's like 30 feet of space where there's a bunch more caskets in a lot of them. I have to say, I didn't expect to think this was so cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind-blowing and kind of creepy and beautiful at the same time.
I feel like it's kind of both. Like, it's cooler than I expected because it's not touristed up. It's just a cemetery, right?
Yeah,
Or,
it's still in use. It's
yeah, but I do think at the same time it's also like less cool than other people think it is because, you know, it's just bones in really ornate buildings.
yeah.
So in some ways it's kind of like, yeah, whatever.
It also feels weird to be like looking
Touristing
at
it,
a
walking
bunch
through
of
it.
dead bodies. Yeah,
Yeah.
but interesting nonetheless. Or nonetheless. I like
Hey.
none the least.
None of the audience here in this particular area care.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to say anything.
I could have spent days wandering around here, taking in all the details of this oddly beautiful and slightly creepy place.
Oh, look at this one.
Yeah.
bit
This
old.
this is amazing to me. These ones that, you know, you can imagine this being just a big field here if this was still the garden, and then you build sort of a stone cement monolith, and then you go down some stairs to where you're going to keep, you know, your loved ones. But then they've turned into more of like these houses and stuff. But the early ones all look a little more like this, where it's just a staircase going down, yeah, and just filled with trash and glass from other people's. So you can see most of these, even these really wealthy families, once they have been dead for even just 20 years, they're pretty much going into disrepair. The ones that say anything from like the 90s forward look pretty good quality, you know, like kept up, and the glass, if it's broken, has been repaired. And pretty much all the rest are just rotting away until they fall down. It's kind of sad, but it's also kind of oddly reassuring in a way that, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, what burial plot you get. In the end, you know, 50 years later, we're all kind of in the same, in the same boat.
This once was on the outskirts of the city, and now it's completely surrounded by the city.
I'm sure a lot of you have been to Buenos Aires. If so, did you visit the Recoleta Cemetery? I'd love to know what you thought. As always, thanks for watching.
Also, I have a squeaky boot. Walk beside me, Tim. Walk beside me.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
Wah wah.
Creepy. Door is just hanging open.
It's not hinged, so if somebody pushes on that, it's gonna shatter.
Old coffin down there.
It's crazy. This guy was the technical director of Portland Cement Company of Argentina.
Oh, special guy.
But it's funny that you put your career on there to kind of go, yeah, I was the technical director, so I'll make sure everyone knows.
Happy tune to keep you entertained while you're walking the cemetery.
It's got me in an upbeat mood, you know?